On Memorial Day 1997, a young woman named Jennifer Ledesma returned to her apartment in Fort Worth. She had been out of town for 2 days, visiting family. She was eager to catch up to her roommate, 20-year-old Brenda Salazar. Jennifer had called home several times during her trip, but got no answer. When Jennifer opened the door, she found the apartment in disarray. Her next discovery was horrifying. She found Brenda lying face down near her bed, partially covered by a sheet. Brenda's glasses were on the bed. Both lenses popped out. Her hands were tied behind her back with a cord from an iron. She had been hit in the head, probably with the iron, but that's not what killed her. Someone had strangled her with a belt. For Fort Worth detectives, the case was a classic whodunit. Brenda Salazar had been dead for 2 days. There were no witnesses to her final hours, no signs of forced entry at her apartment. The lead investigator, Detective Kurt Brannon, was sure of one thing. She knew her killer.
The Nasher opened in October of 2003 in a beautiful building designed by Renzo Piano, who uses glass and marble to create this really serene but very simple structure. One of the amazing things about the Nasher Sculpture Center is that it's such an understated piece of architecture. Approached from the outside, it's almost barely discernible in downtown Dallas, but it invites you in, and once you're in there, you see these beautiful travertine walls which create this amazing, comforting, soothing space to look at this wonderful sculpture collection. Raymond Nasher began collecting art 50 years ago. He was really on the vanguard of modern art, collecting pieces by Richard Serra, Joan Moreau, and Jonathan Borofsky well before they were household names. The collection grew so vast that it could barely be contained in his malls or his house, and in 2003 gave this extraordinary gift to the city of Dallas, one of the great metropolitan museums of the 21st century.
Stanley McGowan of Weatherford is among an estimated 1 million hunters in Texas, but he's also part of a much smaller fraternity of hunters. Stanley McGowan is blind. People are instantly alarmed that a blind man goes afield intent on shooting an animal he can't see. But McGowan said blind people have been hunting for years, and they're continually developing effective and safe techniques to kill game. Last year, he successfully petitioned the Texas legislature to let blind hunters attach laser sights to their weapons.
I got to talking around with some other people I knew, and with the Texas State Rifle Association, they helped sponsor this bill. But I initiated it with Alice Tripp through the Texas State Rifle Association. She contacted Representative Kemple's office, and we put this together. So I guess I'm the impetus behind the bill, and I'm certainly glad that Representative Kemple took it upon himself to introduce this.
A bill was needed to create an exemption for the blind because Texas law prevents hunters from targeting game with flashlights and laser sights. But stories about the bill were soon carried by National Public Radio, ABC News, and others. The bill sailed through the legislature despite the early publicity from talk show hosts, late-night comedians, and internet bloggers who related images of a sightless Elmer Fudd stumbling through the woods, shooting at any sound.